Hello aviators, my name is Chris Palmer, a Master CFI here at angleofattack.com in Homer, Alaska at our headquarters. Today we have a unique opportunity to review a real flight lesson with a student pilot. This is Sienna's first flight lesson and is chock full of great little tidbits from someone who is just starting to learn to fly. So let's roll the intro and I'll tell you more on the other side. Okay, welcome to this lesson. These are really fun videos to do because I just get to do my thing as a flight instructor. I fly with a student, I teach them, I have all these little things that come out of my mouth as we're going through the curriculum, and it's just a really cool process. For me, I really enjoy these beginning stages of flight training with a student pilot and teaching them the fundamentals of flying an airplane. So it's really quite simple. Basically what we're going to be doing here is we'll jump in the airplane now. I have a bunch of cameras set up, audio hooked up so you get to hear everything we say, and you get to be a fly on the cockpit wall while we go through our first flight lesson together. We'll even break it up into meaningful chunks and chapters for you. Ignition, carb heat, primer. I'm wondering what all those are. Okay, we talked about prop safety. I yell clear and make sure no one's around the prop. Say Bozo the clown is up there squatted down in front of the propeller, or someone's walking up behind us, we can't see him, we just make sure everyone's clear. Alright? Clear!
Oh, nice.
So you can see we're barely rolling, but I want to go forward a little more. Okay, so I add a little power. You can put your feet on the pedals, by the way. Feel what I'm doing. Once we get out of here, I'll talk more about the pedals.
One Quebec here at Quebec, Homer Radio, no known traffic.
No traffic,
So this doesn't do anything. I know you just learned the drive. Annalynn, how old were you when you soloed?
17.
Yeah. See you and Annalynn, you're like rocking it. Learning to fly early. So a couple things turn us. We've got the bottom of the pedals, which it turns the nose wheel. It also turns the rudder. We don't get a lot of rudder action because we're just not going fast. There's not enough air going over the tail. But pushing that wheel, that nose wheel does help. So obviously I need a little speed to turn. If I push the wheel, it doesn't turn very fast in this airplane. So then I have to add a little brake. There's the brakes are at the top of the pedals. You feel me dancing on them? See how the brakes go down?
Yeah.
I've got one on each side. So that in combination with the turn can help you turn sharper. And here's where you really want to start being aware of the runway. Start looking in the sky for airplanes that are in the pattern, we call it. People ready to land. Because as you're approaching here, you just have really good visibility. So now I'm going to call up Homer Radio, talk to them for a second, and then we'll probably blast off this way and turn right and head out toward the spit. Homer Radio, Skyhawk 2423 uniform, information Mike Bravo North, and we're planning to go to McEwen Flats.
Number 2423 uniform, Homer Radio, no known traffic.
23 uniform. That's it. They're there for information purposes. We're done. Still listen to us. Keep track of where we are. We're going to go out here, we're going to line up with the runway, and we're going to advance the power, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and we're going to accelerate down the runway until we're about 60 here, but really you're just kind of bouncing on your feet, I'll tell you when. And then you're going to slowly pull back, the nose will come up, after you put pressure for a little bit, and then we'll fly attitude, remember, with that cowling out on the horizon. Do you know what I mean by horizon? Okay. Out in the distance where you could imagine looking out in the ocean. It's really easy this way. You can see it out there. So that's what we're trying to do. All right. Okay. Homer traffic, 2423 uniform, taking runway 4 will be a right-hand turnout departure over the spit, Homer. Alright, looking down this way, and you can pull the power out just a little bit now. Back, 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 there we go. Just as we're in the turn here. Let me turn in. Okay. Now you can put your left hand on the control here, you'll have your right hand on the power, and go ahead and smoothly put the power in about 3 seconds. There you go. 1,000, 2, 1,000, it should be all the way in at 3. All the way in, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. And hold your hand there and make sure it is all the way in. We'll keep it there, okay? Okay, here we go, we're going fast down the runway. And she's about ready to fly now, so you can start to add that back pressure. There you go. And then if you want to put the nose down a little bit, just push it forward a little bit, right? Pull it up, pull back. So there you go. Look, Ma, no hands. The one thing I'm doing right now is you see the pedals, how they're not centered?
Yeah.
So the prop like pulls us to the left. So if I let go of my right rudder pedal, but then we're like flying sideways. That ball's supposed to be in the middle. So, okay, now you can turn right. Just nice and gradual. We'll see what that looks like. That's perfect. Homer traffic, 23 uniform, right crosswind, runway 4, Homer. And here I like to roll the wings level and have a look at the runway. You can also see if anyone's coming for you. Okay, we'll do that for a second. Okay, we're good. And now you can turn this way. Learning anything, Annalynn?
Yeah, actually.
Good. When you put that nose on the horizon, like we talked about, good job rolling out. When we put that nose on the horizon, we should be getting about 80 miles per hour there. Which, right? You could prove that to yourself and hold it right there. How tall are you, do you know?
5'7".
Okay. Should be about right. Does that look like it's on the horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, 80. It's magic. Attitude flying works. This is kind of the fun part. Calm before the storm.
What storm?
I don't know. I hope there's not a storm. So we're in the climb attitude. We're trimmed for the climb. So like you're doing fantastic flying with just your fingers. That's exactly what I want to see. I think we probably talked about that the first time, right? So okay, you remember things. This is going to be good. So flying with your fingers like that, because if you feel like you're adding too much pressure, then you need to retrim the airplane. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a few minutes once we level off over here. So as we get up to our altitude, we're going to go through this process of what we call leveling off. We can put the nose down more, we're going to fly faster, we can even eventually pull the power back, and we're going to see what that process looks like. So, like I said, attitude flying, what I do is I set the attitude first. Might have pressure on the controls and stuff, you can fix that in a second, but we set the attitude first, fly that, hold it, and then we reset. We'll see that happen here in a second. Alright, so there we are. We can level off a little bit sooner than that, so like we kind of bubble down. So I'm going to add a little bit of pressure forward. And I memorize this attitude here, so I don't know, 4 fingers from the horizon, right? And if I just let go, that'll keep coming up, so I have a little pressure here. Now I retrim. And I'm even going to pull the power back a scotch. Rain, rain, go away. So here we are. I just went through the process of trimming, which we'll talk about in a second, in earnest. And I set my attitude, and I'm just kind of like waiting to see what happens there. So I honestly like let go, and I see if it's coming up or going down. It's just barely coming up. That's just something you work at, little by little. You figure it out.
What does the trim do specifically?
Trim?
Yeah.
We're about to find out.
Okay.
Let's do a turn directly behind us, 180-degree turn. You can turn to the right. And then when we go into a turn, we lose a little bit of lift. That means there will be just a, depending on how steep it is, just a little bit of pressure to maintain that altitude. You see how we're descending? So just a little bit of pressure to maintain that altitude. And again, all these things you can memorize by looking outside, especially like the lines on the cowling are very, very helpful. Wow, look at that God light. That is so cool. It almost makes you want to fly through it. Do you want to fly through it? Okay, go fly into the God light.
Radio.
Yeah, I want to get a shot. I want to just like
Taxiing out, Bravo.
get a shot of vitamin D. There you go.
Open traffic, Smuggle Base 3, Quebec, taking off runway 4, right turn.
Pretty good exercise. Actually, I point for something and aim for something and fly there. That's what you know so far. Here we go. You ready? Oh, go this way a little bit. Yeah. We gotta get the sun right in the middle of that. Yes. That is so cool. Look at us.
It's blinding.
We're a bright beam of light in the middle of all this darkness. It's like Lord of the Rings. Okay, let's turn back to the right. Okay, now we'll talk about trim.
Quick message, if you or someone you know is starting flight training, check out our online ground school at angleofattack.com. It's a massive video guided course on our easy to navigate learning center. If you like what you see here at the Angle of Attack YouTube channel, check it out today at angleofattack.com, and we will be part of your flying journey.
So trim basically keeps the airplane in a very comfortable flying position like you have it here now, okay? It's only pitch trim, so it's only doing that elevator trim. This is a very nice turn, by the way.
Thank you.
So once we go straight here, I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So what I want you to do, and this time you can use two hands, is I want you to keep the attitude of the airplane from moving, okay? So this attitude right here, I don't want you to let it move, all right? I'm gonna show you what trim feels like and why we try to find the sweet spot in the middle, all right? Hold it. Okay, a little heavy. Okay, I'm coming the other way. So first you'll relax, and then you'll come the other direction. So you're starting to push forward now. Okay, keep pushing, you're doing good. Keep pushing, this is gonna be hard. Gonna get worse. Good job holding that attitude. Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm gonna go all the way back. I'm gonna come the other direction too, okay? Okay, there's the extreme there. Okay, now I'm coming the other direction. Now you're gonna slowly release it. Just commensurate to what you need. Okay, keep that muscle in there. I know you're strong. And I'm just trying to smoothly do it so that you don't have to fight it too much, but I can go back as fast as I want. Okay, are we close? No? Okay, how is it now? But the other direction? I'm doing so good holding it, I can't tell where it's at. Okay, give it to me, my controls. Oh, that's pretty good, we're getting close. Okay. Okay, so when we set our attitude, at first it's gonna be muscle, and then it's gonna be sight, because let go of the airplane now and just stare at what happens right here. You see that nose slowly coming up? So we're not gonna feel that in the controls. I can set the trim, and I just bumped it a little bit. I just like I did like this. Just a little bit. But you can't feel that, you can only see it. So that's why I stare at the horizon and my cowling, and then I wait a few seconds and see if it moves. So that's trim. When we're in level flight, you really look for that, get it nice and set so that we're hands off. You can set trim for climb, descent, takeoff, anything, so it's easier on you, you know? You want to let the plane fly how it's designed. My controls. You say?
Your controls.
My controls, okay, thanks. So let me show you a couple more turning errors. So we talked about how when you get the airplane in a turn, you have to kind of pull back a little bit. So that's one turning error. Another turning error is called overbanking tendency, which a lot of pilots don't even realize is a thing. They just automatically like keep their nice bank angle, which is kind of constant right now. But once you get into this area, the airplane wants to keep going over, and it's going to get steeper and steeper and steeper. You see that? So what we do as pilots is to maintain a bank like that,
Homer traffic, Cessna 17.
we're kind of turning back the other direction just a little bit. You see how the wheel's that way? So I can do those turns. And you can turn a little more steeply. That's overbanking turn. The other thing is the rudder, is keeping things coordinated throughout. That's going to be, we'll work on your rudder like all during your training. It'll just be there all the time. Okay, your flight controls?
My flight controls.
Your controls. So one thing we're going to do now between here and McEwen before we cross is I'm going to show you slow flight a little bit. I'm going to show you that this airplane still flies with, I'm going to teach you a little bit about what's called angle of attack, okay? So angle of attack is basically how our wing attacks the air and creates lift. That's the simplest term I can use it as. So right now we're going really fast through the air, so look at our wing out there. We just need a little bit of an angle to get all that push off that air. However, if I slow down the airplane, my flight controls.
Your flight controls?
My flight controls. If I slow down the airplane, and I still want to maintain this altitude, for example, I'm going to start to take a bigger bite out of that air. Do you see that wing angle now? Bigger bite, right?
About mile final for 4.
Big bite. And we can even get more of a bite. I'm going to even do some flaps here. Okay, there's a big, big bite. Now what's cool about this airplane, this is the only really like stall thing I'm going to show you today, is I can get this airplane power totally off. I'll show you why these airplanes are so safe. Power off, I'm trimming all the way back, which would have been freaky 5 minutes ago, right? Okay. And watch what this thing does. Gonna still fly. It's just gonna do this all day long. It's gonna recover itself, then it's gonna come back up and it's gonna do that again. So this gets into a deeper conversation about stalls, which we'll cover later. So basically, I just want to show you there real simply that the airplane can fly at slower speeds. It does fly at slower speeds. And really that's what we're doing when we land, is we're just like getting rid of the extra little bits of lift before we touch down. That's the whole name of the game. Any questions? Is your mind a little It's a lot.
Think about.
It's a lot. Your controls.
My controls.
Your controls.
We're up on mission Mike, time 01.
Okay, still Mike. Mike. You guys ever seen that commercial?
Nope.
Mike. It's hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Woo woo!
Mike, hump day. Okay, the camel, I think it's Geico. Let's see. We're gonna be landing runway 4. Let's pull this back even more. We're gonna aim for the left-hand side of the spit because we're gonna come into the runway like that. Does that make sense? So you can turn like 30 degrees to the left there. Homer traffic, Skyhawk 2423 in a form. Currently 3,000 over the tip of the spit. We're planning a right extended base for runway 4. Homer. Now, right now, the engine is idle. So it is producing a little bit of power, but you can see how like comfortable this is. Like, it's controllable. I touch my trim a lot when I'm landing. I'm gonna let you do something really cool, okay? Click this mic right there. 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. there it goes.
There you go.
Turn the runway lights on. See that? The clicks. Pretty cool, huh? So, smooth, I'm gradual. My turns are smooth, my turns are coordinated. This is why I was talking about all that out there, because this is where it matters. Add a little bit of power. Remember we talked about hands off? So I still trim the airplane. Eventually you'll learn this. Trim the airplane to where it's like you're just smoothly coming down and you've let the airplane do most of the work for you. And here's where we'll get rid of the last little bit of lift as I touch down right over the runway. So I'm pulling back. See that? So there are some things we did out there we can correlate to that, like the turning smoothly, like that slow flight I showed you. And so I guess my point is that everything we do out there, while it's fun, it really matters a lot when we come back here to the pattern. Like I'm trying to build these things that teach you good habits. Homer traffic 2-3 uniform, down on runway 4, we're back taxi to Bravo North. Okay, now you can kill the engine by just getting rid of fuel. So you can hold that button and pull this out. This is our fuel. Which kind of makes sense. Red, fire, fuel. Okay, we killed the engine. Now we're going to turn this off, which is all the way to the left, pull it out, and put it on the dash. That's so we can see the keys from the outside. Remember that? And then I get the flight times here. All right, and now we have power up here, so you can just go boop, boop, boop.
There we go. You did it.
Cool.
All right, how was that? I hope you enjoyed that lesson, and I'm curious what you learned as well, so please share in the comments and let me know. That'd be really cool to hear, and I'll answer back to many of you. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to get more great flight training content, and hit all notifications so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for coming along, fly safe, and until next time, throttle on.